Good morning. Let me first thank everyone for coming out to today's media conference. I think it's a bit early for some of you guys, so I believe we have some refreshments afterwards. Yeah. All right. So, members of the media, as the league secretary of the Trinidad and Tobago Super League, it is my privilege to welcome every one of you to this yet another milestone in Trinidad and Tobago's football, where we have an elite league, the TTSL, signing a commercial agreement with a global top sports brand, Umbro. So to my immediate, you all know, to my immediate left here we have Mr. Keith Leclerc, who is the interim president of the TTSL. As you know, the TTSL was formed last mid-December, where 13 clubs from the last National Super League formed this new league, and to date it's my pleasure to inform you that all 22 clubs from last year's league have since signed on to this new league. And to my extreme left we have, as Mr. Leclerc has already introduced, Mr. Hadid, the local agent for Umbro. So I'll give it to Mr. Keith Leclerc again to make a few comments.
All right, thank you, Kamara. Good morning again, guys. Right, we in official mode now. I want to thank you for coming out. Kamara has hit the word on the head. This is a milestone. As he said, you know, on the 13th of December, we started this league by adopting a constitution, and in the 2 months or so since that time, we have grown that to the full slate of 22 from last season. We expect that will grow to 24 when we get the 2 qualifiers from the TTFA Champion of Champions tournament, which is still to be played. We'll go to the full complement of 24. 10 teams in League 2 and 14 teams in League 1. And in that 2-month period, we have embarked on a serious drive of institutionalizing the league internally. We have set up a company, Trinidad and Tobago Super League Limited. We have appointed a full range of committees, technical committee, finance and audit, and so on and so forth, disciplinary, and all the committees you expect in a football organization. And today this is a very important step. Why? Because an association, a partnership, more than an association, a partnership with a global brand is, in our view, a recognition of our credibility and a recognition of our potential for growth. I want to make one point, if I make only one point today, and it is this. The founding purpose and the guiding principle of the Trinidad and Tobago Super League is to make football commercially viable, to make our member clubs commercially viable, and to bring commercial benefit to our clubs. This is the only way that our clubs could grow, our league could grow, and football could grow. The growth of anything demands resources. And that is the only purpose of this league. If we only wanted or merely wanted to fulfill fixtures, we could play anywhere. All of our clubs could go back to regional football. But we would like to think that we are bringing a new vision to football. Again, to make the league viable and to bring profit and commercial benefit to our member clubs. And this arrangement here today, this partnership with Umbro, and via Umbro, via Sports and Games with Umbro, is to bring commercial benefit again to our clubs. A dollar saved for a club is a dollar earned. Omar will talk more about it, but this is a sponsorship or a partnership that will make equipment of various types available to our clubs, either free or at ridiculously low prices.
Good morning, gentlemen. As CEO of Sports and Games Limited, we have always believed in individuals. And throughout our 75-year history, we have always invested in athletes. And over the years, we have become synonymous with sport. We have been synonymous with success. And our sponsorship or partnership with the newly formed Super League is testament to the success of Mr. Keith Leclerc. because we are investing in him. If he can run the Super League as half as well as he does his own team, it will be a huge success. And as far as I am concerned, the future for the Super League and football in general in Trinidad and Tobago is in good hands with this gentleman. And Umbro, whom most of you may not know, was recently purchased by the great Nike. And they have been doing revolutionary stuff with the brand. And Umbro has always controlled lower league football. You may look at the Premier League, you may not see much of their brand anymore because it's controlled by the mega brands, the Nikes, the Adidas. But as you go down the leagues, the Nationwide League, the second division, the third division, you would start to see more of the Umbro brand. They've always invested in grassroots football. So they have now decided to expand worldwide into new markets, including the Caribbean, and they've identified the Super League as one of the potential earners for the brand, giving them the publicity that they need. Because Umbro not only invest in individuals, they invest in teams, they invest in agents, they invest in parents. So Umbro will, as they have always done to be successful, will partner with the Super League, be involved not just as a kit sponsor, but also from a lower level, from the youth programs go up. Wherever they can assist with athletes, they will. And again, Sports and Games has always envisioned that we will grow the young athletes of Trinidad and Tobago into professional ones and serve to put our brand and Trinidad and Tobago on the map. And that's it in a nutshell, really.
We submitted our proposal for our application for membership to the TTFA on the 8th of January. Today is the 8th of March. 2 months have elapsed and we have been engaged in a process of verification, if I could use that word, of our bona fides. We have given them everything that they have required. We have given them constitution. We have given them company bylaws and all the documentation associated with the formation and registration of our company, which has 22 right now shareholders and is a legitimate bona fide company. We have satisfied all of the requirements, but still the matter is in abeyance. We can't have a definitive decision from them. We kick off on the 11th of June, which is what, 3 months away. And so there's still a little time, but we are going ahead with our process. Today we're here to talk about a partnership with a global brand that believes in us. The Minister of Sport has already said he supports what we are doing, and we're calling. I'll take the opportunity, since you asked the question, to call on the TTFA to expeditiously approve our application so we could get about our business.
What's going to set aside this league from the rest of the leagues in the country? What's going to make this league different?
Well, I will answer that, but I would like Umbro to get some questions too, right? But this is again another excellent question. We have had in this country decades of football that is governed by debt and dependency at every level. The only time that we somewhat escaped that, I'll be frank, was when Jack Warner was in control of Trinidad and Tobago football. And he would be pumping money from all kinds of sources, and I don't need to get into that, into football. So if football needed some money, he would find it and put it. Before that and after that, Trinidad and Tobago football at every level, from the clubs and the regions go up to the association itself and the Pro League, has been governed by debt and dependency. We want to break that culture. We want to depart from that mold. I said earlier that our league, the founding purpose of our league is to make our clubs commercially viable entities and to make the league a channel through which commercial benefit comes to the clubs. This is an example of that. Our league, the members of our league will be getting free and, as I said, ridiculously priced equipment via this Umbro partnership or sponsorship. This means that their resources could go to other areas. And we have no interest in merely running a competition. That is the history of our football. Give me my fixtures, I will play, and then we declare a winner, and the league goes nowhere, football goes nowhere. Let me conclude by saying this. Domestic football in Trinidad and Tobago has long been abandoned by the authorities. It has long been abandoned by the authorities. The regional association, the clubs are left to their own devices to sink, swim, succeed or fail, and generally operate in debt. We're talking about from the clubs in the regional level to the clubs in the Super League to the clubs in the Pro League. We, I repeat, almost to the point of redundancy, want to depart from that. Football will not progress unless the authorities in control of domestic football, starting with the TTFA, make it the prime purpose to grow domestic football. When last have we had a high-level coaching course in Trinidad and Tobago? When last have we had one? It is the responsibility of the football authorities to educate coaches. I guarantee you that the Trinidad and Tobago Super League will be providing high-level coaching education for our member coaches. And that's just one example. So that this is how we will mark our difference from the rest. We want to be commercially viable. We want to grow grassroots football. Omar referred to that. We want to educate our coaches. And at the end of the day, we want to bring financial and commercial benefit to our members so they could grow, so that the national game, with due respect to the other sports, so that the national game could grow.
You all plan to make the league financially and commercially right?
Well, first of all, we're going to operate a league that is not going to be bleeding red ink from the start. Our budget is a balanced budget. It is based on our membership fees. We're not going to be spending money beyond what our membership fees allow. That's the first level. The second level is by bringing benefits to the member clubs by way of arrangements like this. They no longer will have to be putting out tens of thousands of dollars on equipment. That money could go elsewhere, yeah, because of this Umbro partnership. Thirdly, we also talking to other major brands in other commercial areas that I don't want to go into right now, that hopefully, and these talks are going well, will be paying us to associate. Equipment is money. Equipment is money, but cash is money too. And what we're looking for is partnerships with other brands in other areas of economic life that will pay to associate with our brand, TTSL. That money will now flow into the league. We have a formula in our league. If the league, which we have agreed, it is called our founding agreement. The league makes a profit. 50% of the profit is shared equally among the 24 shareholders. Everybody gets an equal share. Of the remaining 50%, 25% is shared equitably among the 24 shareholders based on the placing in the league. So if you come last, you get $1. You come second to last, you get $2. And if you come first, you get $24. And the remaining 25% is reinvested in the league. Because our league is not about fulfilling fixtures. Our league is about generating profit for the members. And that profit, it is now up to them to grow their commercial enterprise that is their football club.
Mr. Adil, I don't know if I understood, but is this a long-term sponsorship?
Absolutely. We are hoping this is obviously the first year of the newly formed Super League, and we are hoping that Umbro becomes an identity of the Super League. Not just with the teams, not just with the players, but the supporters alike. So our end game, so to speak, is for Umbro to be synonymous with the Super League. And as Mr. Lecroy alluded to, at the end of the day, this is a new venture by which the league will become more professional. And his vision, just as mine, is long-term. Whereas we believe most sport in Trinidad, as he just said, is a matter of showing up, participating, hopefully winning, and you go home. There's no long-term vision. There's no end game. If I asked you who won the Premier League in England last season, I'm sure almost all of you will be able to give the correct answer. If I asked you who won the Super League last year in Trinidad, maybe half of you would be able to give me the right answer. If I asked you who won the Super League 2 years ago in Trinidad, I'm sure no one will be able to give me the right answer. So, with the gentleman to my right, it is the anticipation that as time goes on, the Super League is publicized a lot more, the product builds, and again, Umbro will be able to be associated with this success and this growth.
So
But to be specific, we have signed a 2-year agreement with an option for a third.
So what made you, with all that is going on in Trinidad and Tobago, the last Super League, it wasn't financially viable. What made you, decide to come on board?
Because I believe in Mr. Keith Lucloy. I'll be honest with you, to be very straight. We sponsored the Sporting Games Santa Rosa last year. They had a very successful run. And I went at the end of the season to their prize giving. And when I saw for myself the students, the parents, the community in which he had built, there were about 500 or 600 people attending this this prize giving a few days before Christmas, the busy Christmas period. And I saw the togetherness, I saw the family, I saw the parents and how proud they were of their children. And I thought to myself 2 things. One, if there were more clubs and organizations like this in Trinidad and Tobago, my business would be more successful. And 2, there would be less crime in our nation. Because you saw parents who took pride in their children, whether they were the top goal scorer or not, whether they received a prize or not, they were proud of their children and they were part of a greater cause. And I then believed in Mr. Lucloy and what he was trying to achieve, which is now taking what he had achieved for over 20 years with his club to a bigger level. Because at the end of the day, he just came off a fantastic victory, champions of the Super League, but what next? What is the Super League? What are they trying to achieve? What's the long-term vision? So I'm confident in this gentleman that he will take it from strength to strength, enhance the product, and by extension, endorse Sports and Games Limited through Umbro.
If you don't mind, what is the cost of this sponsorship?
Well over $150,000. I will say that, which is good, given the fact that we are a fledgling organization, and it could go beyond that depending on what the clubs want to do. But this is the initial amount of free equipment to the clubs. Yes, and well, he is the businessman with charge for Umbro here. I'm looking at it from my side. We want to grow this. Because while it may seem small, we are the only league in Trinidad and Tobago that has an equipment sponsor. The only league. The only other football organization in Trinidad and Tobago that has a partnership with an international brand is the National Association. And we're going to grow this well beyond what it is today.
You and I have spoken about it before, but what about grounds and getting the APCs for matches?
Well, as we said back then, right, this a couple of weeks ago, right, we have a mixture of situations in our league. We have clubs that play in an open field, regional corporation owned. We have clubs that play in private grounds that are enclosed, like Palo Seco, Defense Force, what have you. And then, we have some that play in official stadia, Marabella, which is in the room. We have Siparia, which is in the room, Irwin Park, and so on and so forth, Manny Ramjon. This year, FC Santa Rosa will be playing in the Velodrome. Never mind what you read elsewhere. But, we have there, for my club, if I could put on that hat, we have the capacity to charge entry, which is an income stream. Not everybody has that ability. But this is something we have to work on. A succession of government ministers, including the current minister, who has endorsed us Darryl Smith, very supportive. He has said that they're going to be working on the different grounds to create that capacity for the clubs to become financially independent. Because, of course, where does football income come from? Gates, merchandising, television contract, and so on and so forth, right? Sponsorship. And this is the direction we're heading in. But the key thing in the beginning is not the quantum, it's not the amount. The key thing is to make the step. And the Trinidad and Tobago Super League has made this step. We have an official partner in a global brand. We're going to grow that partnership, and we're looking for more.
Are you all going to do a promotional before you start the league to get people aware?
Definitely. Last night we had a board meeting, and we're going to have a media conference, but we're going to be starting the season. We scheduled for football to be the league competition to begin on the 11th of June. On the 4th, Sunday, we play on Sundays. On Sunday, the 4th of June, we're going to be playing off the Super Cup, which is going to be played between the league champion and the cup champion. We're going to have a big promotion around that. We're looking to bring in different artists for a halftime show. Not only the Super Bowl could do that. We're looking to do that, and we're looking to hold it in a venue that is going to generate finance for the league. Well, we are in discussion with more than one major brand in that regard, and on the arrangement that we arrive with any one of them, that will dictate what our price structure is. But again, let me link your question to the question that I believe George asked about the difference between us and the rest. The normal business or standard operating procedure in Trinidad and Tobago football is that you have X number of, okay, the Super League, you have 14 clubs in your league, and 4 get a prize. At the end of the day, 4 get a prize. So the other 10 have been fulfilling fixtures and ultimately making it possible for 4 clubs to get a prize. Then they go home and they come back again. In every league, there are some clubs that will never win a prize. But they're there, they're mid-table, they're there every year, a solid league club in the English Premier League, in La Liga, Serie A, the Bundesliga. You have these clubs, solid club, they're there, they're going to be there every year. They will never come first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. We are going to depart from that. I just gave you the founding agreement about our financial structure at the end of the year. We generate a profit, everybody shares in it. The last place team that is going to be demoted will share in it. They will go to the League 2, but they will take League 1 money with them when they go to League 2. So that everybody derives commercial, financial benefit from the league. Not just 4. It's not 4 teams playing. It's 14. And everybody should go home with something. That's why I made the distinction between sharing equally and sharing equitably. Some of the money going to be based on your placing in the league. Yes. Because last and first can't get the same thing. But at the end of the day, everybody's going to go home with something.
So I guess if there's no more further questions.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
So Hadi, most of what I wanted to know was answered, but exactly what is your relationship with me? I mean, you said, Mr. LeCloy said you're going to be involved in your product, right? Which is Umbro products. What are they giving? Uniforms, footballs, what?
We're given a combination of all teams will need home and away kits. All teams will need kits for their youth teams. So what Sports and Games has done through Umbro is provide a number of footballs free of charge for all teams. We are absorbing the cost of some of the uniforms with the hope that they eventually purchase for the youth teams. And again, Umbro wants to take an active role. I don't want to say out of place, but we are trying to also get in touch with some of the Umbro teams abroad. For instance, what if the champion of the Super League next year plays one of the larger teams worldwide? I mean, you have West Ham United, which is sponsored by Umbro, just to name a few. A lot of Spanish teams, French teams, German teams. So we're trying to align the brand, again, with the success of the Pro League and to take the relationship further. So to answer your question, right now we're sponsoring balls, we're sponsoring part of the kits and equipment in the hope that, again, the teams do patronize us with the youthful members of their squad. Any more questions?
Let me just add one thing. The official ball of the league is going to be an Umbro ball. We don't know the model yet, but it's $100 plus US dollar ball. And that's going to be the official ball of the league. Everybody's going to be required to play with it because you're getting it. So when you're getting the ball, don't bring Adidas or Nike, although Nike is the parent. But still, we have a ball, and everybody's going to be required to play their matches with the official ball of the league.
And just to close, I would like to, nothing directly to do with Umbro, but this is a call for the TTFF, a call to the Super League, a call to the Pro League. I personally believe that football in Trinidad and Tobago should be community-based. Gentleman asked the question about gate receipts. But you look at the model of the Pro League, and I hope Keith looks at it to see why or where it went wrong. But at the end of the day, the government subsidized it for years. They gave each team, I know it's no longer in place, but they gave each team $83,000, I believe. Each team $83,000 a month. Now you calculate that over a 5-year period. You're looking at millions of dollars to each team, and what is the end result? What if they had taken that money, invested it in a community-based field for each team, so that they can then have a support system for their club, so that they can survive through gate receipts, through corporate sponsorship, and have a model that is self-sustainable. To me, it makes good economic sense. So for me, using the velodrome or the national stadium for games, it will be impossible to build the environment that we want. Having 100 people or 200 people in those stands does nothing for corporate sponsorship, does nothing for television stations. But why not follow our Caribbean counterparts, Jamaica? They have a semi-professional league that is attended by 10 to 15,000 people per game. Flow covers almost all the games live. So maybe that's a format we should adopt. Again, this is not something that I've discussed with Keith, but this is my personal feeling. And we need to build a product. We need to build a product that people will be interested in, people will be excited by, and it has to be community-based. Thank you.
So if there's no other questions, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out again this morning, and feel free to dine with us in some light refreshments. Right?
Thank you guys very much.